This conference will now be
Advantages of
recorded.
SAP over and above other enterprise resource planning related tools, right? So we have seen some of the advantages of SAP, right? So advantage number 5 is it has a strong client server architecture. When I say strong client server architecture, there are 3 layers in it. One is the presentation layer, application layer, and the database layer. Okay, what is presentation layer? Presentation layer will provide access to the systems so that users will be able to log in into the SAP and perform the transactions. So how it works? Let me go to the system. I will just show it to you for your better understanding purpose. Okay, but if you are not able to understand, which is fine, we are going to discuss these things in detail when we are starting with the regular sessions. So let me go to the SAP system. I will be logging into the SAP system. Okay, so I need to provide the user ID and the password details. User ID is Rafi and India123 is the password. So when you get the access, you will also have the your own user ID and the password. Okay, so let us say I am the procurement department supervisor or the person working in the procurement department. I wanted to perform a purchase requisition or the purchase order creation. So how I will create? So this is how your presentation layer helping you by providing the access. It is nothing but this particular screen which you are trying to visualize now is nothing but a presentation layer, which is providing the access to the SAP system so that I will be able to work upon it. So let us say I want to create a purchase order. What I will do, I will go to the logistics, materials management and the purchasing, purchase order, create. I will go to the ME21N. So every event which you are trying to do it in SAP will be identified by one of the transaction code. So let me see, I will try to give the vendor number over here, which I have created. Okay, so what is vendor, what is purchase organization, what is company code, everything we are going to discuss in details. But for the time being, I am trying to create a purchase order with the help of all the details which I am having over here. So let me try to see. So this is how, like this, based upon the user's roles and responsibilities, I will be creating various types of transactions in the SAP system. This is one of the transaction which I am trying to create with the help of the presentation layer. Okay, so then what is application layer? Application layer is nothing but a back-end programming part. Okay, so let me go to one of the Excel sheet. I will go to the one of the Excel sheet and we will try to write it down over there. So presentation layer is nothing but a front end menu where you are performing the transactions. Then what is application layer? Application layer is nothing but a back-end programming. There are various programs which are executing when you are trying to do the transactions in the back-end. So application layer, application layer. Application layer is a back-end programming, back-end programs, back-end program which will be executed as a part of transaction performed by the users. Performed by the users. Okay, so what is a programming? So there will be various programs that are executing. Any software will have the various programming languages specific to that particular software. SAP also is having one of the programming language known as ABAP. ABAP is the programming language which will be used to develop or build any SAP functionality. So let us see, I will try to remove the net price over here. I will just click on enter button. So what it is saying, it is validating in the backend whatever may be the mandatory fields that are need to maintain to create the purchase order. It is trying to validate. How it is being validated? Because there are so many programs are getting triggered in the backend. So for example, I will just show it to you how your program looks like. I will just go to the /h and click on H. So this is one of the programming part where it is getting executed. Okay, like this, there are so many programs based upon the type of event which you are trying to perform. This will trigger the relevant programming part over here. Okay, but as a functional consultant, we need not to worry about the programming part. This will be taken care by the technical consultants. But whenever you want to have the program to be developed, you can go ahead and do the programming creation with the help of the technical people. We are not going to create, they only will create, but we are giving the requirements of our whatever may be the development or the enhancement which we wanted to do. Then what is the database layer? Okay, application layer is nothing but the backend programming part. Then we have the database layer. What is database layer? Database layer is nothing but, let me create a purchase order first. I will enter all the details of this particular purchase order and I will try to save this particular purchase order. Okay, this is just for your understanding purpose, how a 3 layers are working. Okay, but we are going to discuss all these things in detail when we are getting into the regular sessions. Okay, then I will go to the net price. I will just maintain the plant as IN47 and I will just save it. Just check and save it. Let me click on OK. So this is the purchase order which I tried to create, right? So 45000, I will write it down over here. 45000 22434. Now what is database layer? Database layer is nothing but the data, whatever may be the transactions I am trying to do it in SAP system. All those transactions are getting stored in the database layer in the format of the SAP tables. Why I am storing this data? Because I want to retrieve this particular data, whatever may be the purchase order I created today, I want to retrieve tomorrow or day after tomorrow. That is the reason I am trying to store this data into the database tables. It is like the data or the memory of a particular mobile number, right? So why you are having the mobile number MB, 6 MB or 12 MB or 16 MB mobile, why we are taking? We are taking whatever may be the videos or something else I downloaded from the any YouTube, etc. will be stored under that particular data storage. After some point of time, after 2 days or 1 year or 1 month, if I want to see the video from that particular database, I will be able to extract that particular video and I will be able to see. That is the reason I am having a memory device within the mobile where I will be storing the various types of videos which I have downloaded. In the same way, I am doing the transactions in SAP on a regular basis. Multiple times I am trying to do it. Okay. So whatever may be the transactions which I have performed, when I saved that particular transaction, it will be stored under the database known as the SAP tables. So there are various types of databases that are being used in SAP from the beginning. So we have Oracle database and the DB2 database. Presently, now we are working upon HANA database. Okay, so we will see what and when exactly SAP has used HANA database or the Oracle database, and what and all the advantages of Oracle and the HANA databases. We will see. But database is nothing but one of the memory device where you are storing the transactions which you are performing in the SAP system in the format of the tables. So I just created one purchase order today, and what are the tables that are getting updated as a part of database update. So we have so many tables that are getting updated when you create a transaction. So EKKO and EKPO is one of the tables. So I will just go to the SC11 transaction code and I will see whether whatever may be the purchase order I have created, is it getting stored over there. So I will go to the SC11 and I will put the EKKO as the database table name. So I will go to the display. Let's wait, it is trying to work upon it. So I will go to the contents. So I can provide the purchase order name over here. I will just click on execution button. See, whatever may be the purchase order I have created over here, the purchase order related details are being captured under the table known as the EKKO table, which is nothing but the purchase order header table. It will have various fields included in it. Everything will be updated based upon the details filled into the purchase order upon me. Okay, so now why this database should be updated? Because after some point of time I want to extract the data of the purchase order. I want to see, or I want to generate one report. So to generate that particular report, my system is trying to read the database tables and it is trying to populate the purchase order in front of me. See, let us say I want to generate the report for a particular purchase order. I will see the data into the report will be captured from the database tables. See, this is the report which I am trying to see. See, I am able to see the data of the purchase order which I have created over here. Why it is, how it is possible? It is possible because I already stored this particular data into the database tables to retrieve the data whenever I need. So in SAP, the data is, we have three layers, right? So this is nothing but a database layer where I am storing the data in the format of the SAP tables. So as discussed, we have the layer number 2 as the application layer, and we have layer number 3 as the database layer, and we have the layer number 3 which we discussed yesterday, layer number 1 as a presentation layer. Okay. So in SAP, so there are three layers. The data is a bidirectional data flow. Sometimes the data can be transferred from presentation layer to the database layer via the application layer. So it is I can transfer the data from presentation layer to the application database layer via application layer based upon the activity which I am trying to perform it. But sometimes I can extract the data from the database layer and I can represent or present the data from the presentation layer as well via the application layer. So the data in SAP is a bidirectional data flow. Okay, so this is something related to the SAP R3 architecture, which has three layers in processing the data, and this is because of this particular architecture. SAP is having a strong client server architecture. Means because of this particular three-layer architecture, the system performance will be quite good. When I say system performance, what is that meaning? The meaning is, let us say you take example of the Indian Railways, right? In case of Indian Railways, how many employees we have? We have more than 11 lakhs, right? If you want to process the payment, let us say first Tariq came, so then all these 11 lakhs employees needs to be paid for the payment, right? Salaries needs to be paid. It's quite difficult to process the salary if you are working upon some manual salary processing, etc. But in case of SAP, what will happen? Even though there are 11 lakh employees working upon Indian Railways, the salary of the 11 lakh employees will be completed. Means it will, what it will do, it will see what is the date as on today. Today is 31st. What system will do? It will automatically calculate the net salaries that needs to be paid to the 11 lakhs employees. There is one program, it will simply execute within 10 minutes or 15 minutes. It will try to calculate what is the net salary of the each and every employee of the Indian Railways. Then once 31st of 31st evening reaches, let us say you have scheduled one program to process the payment. So as at what time you have scheduled at the 5:30 p.m. So at 5:30 p.m. what that particular program will do? It will simply debit the companies or the Indian Railways bank account for the salaries, and it will credit the salary to each and every employee account within half an hour time. So that is the performance of the system. Within half an hour or 20 minutes, it will process the salary for the all 11 lakh employees. So why it is happening? It is happening because of the architecture it is having while working upon the data processing. So any doubts on understanding the R3 architecture or the of SAP materials management or the SAP system? I will just show it to you, one of the document or the one of the, I will go to the Google and I will just share you one link over there so that you will be able to get the better understanding of the R3 architecture or the client server architecture of the SAP system. Let me see. It's not opening. Okay, so just go to the Google and click on SAP R3 architecture so that you will be able to get the details of the SAP R3 architecture. Right, so I will just go to the Google and I will open this SAP R3 architecture tutorial. You see over here, right? It has 3 layers in architecture: presentation layer, application, and the database layer. Okay, so this is the architecture, right? So here user PCs or the monitors are nothing but the presentation layer, by using which you will be able to access the SAP system, like how I am accessing now. Application servers, these are nothing but the programming part or the central processing units of a computer, where various programs are getting executed, and those programs are executing and trying to validate and save the purchase order. When you validate it and save the purchase order, you will be getting into the database layer, where the transactional data which you have performed will be saved under SAP tables known as a database tables. So it is nothing but a server. You see over here, this is something nothing but a server or the memory or the data storage device. So this is how your client server architecture works. If you have any, you can see, if you want to see what exactly the R3 architecture, you can go to the Google and you can search it out over here so that you will be able to get some better understanding. Okay, then let me go to the next topic. We were discussing the advantages of SAP system. So we just completed the client server architecture. It has a very good strong client server architecture is the point number 4 or 5 of the SAP. Then what is the other advantage? Advantage number 6 or 7 of SAP system. The advantage number 6 is, okay, so this client server architecture, it is an interview question. If you go for an interviews, people will ask what exactly the R3 architecture and what are the layers included in it. What is the usage of each and every layer, so that you will be able to explain how I try to explain it now. Okay, so this is one of the interview question. Then what is the advantage number 6 of SAP? Advantage number 6 of SAP is people who are working or the consultants working in SAP, I can divide them into 4 categories. Okay. So what is the category number 1 of the people working in SAP? So category number 1 is the technical consultants. I can call these technical consultants as a ABAPers. I can call them as the technical consultants or the ABAPers. What these people are doing? These people are doing creation of the new programs or development of the new programs. New program or development of new program. New programs. Okay, so what is the language these people are using to create or they develop the new programs? These people are using the language as a ABAP. So what is the full form of ABAP? Like you have C, C++, Java, right? In the same way, in SAP system, if you want to perform the new programming to be created, then you are going to use the language as a ABAP language. So what is the full form of ABAP? Can anyone tell what is the full form of ABAP? Anyone knows what is full form of ABAP? Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Okay.
Application codes and databasing.
Pardon me?
Advanced business application.
Okay, so ABAP is nothing but the full form of ABAP is Advanced
Advanced business application.
Applications Programming Language. Advanced Business Applications Programming Language. So this is the full form of SAP, not SAP, it is ABAP. Okay, so these are the people normally in SAP projects known as technical consultants or the ABAPers. These people will be doing the creation of the new programmings or the development of new programs with the help of the language known as the Advanced Business Applications Programming Language. Then what is the category 2 people? So category 2 people are the basis consultants. Okay, so what is basis? Basis consultants, what is the activities that a basis consultants are trying to perform? So basis consultants are trying to perform the system administration related activities. System administration activities. When I say system administration activities, what are those activities? Now SAP, let us say one company is there, if they want to implement the SAP system, it will not be done 1 or 2 days, right? It will take at least minimum 6 months of time to develop and live with the SAP system. Some projects will take 12 months. If there is a very big projects, those projects will continuously run on 7 years, 8 years, or 10 years as well. So to have the project kickstart in your company, you need to have the so much of administration or the admin activities to be performed. So all those admin activities will be performed by the basis consultants. Like one of the activities licenses procurement. So let us say I want to implement SAP in my company, then I need to have the licenses procured from the SAP company so that I will be able to start with the SAP. Without having the licenses, I will not be able to do anything. Then server procurement. Nowadays, the servers are earlier the servers will be procured by the clients and those servers will be installed in the offices of the client. But nowadays, the servers are being nowadays they are not procuring the servers, but there are some companies who will be giving the servers on rental basis. You can take the server on rental basis and you need not to do anything. So the companies like IBM, Accenture, and Amazon, etc., they will be maintaining the servers. You just need to make the payment on the rental basis per month, such amount of money. That's it. So you need to have the servers available in your company so that you will be able to execute the project. Also the office infrastructure, right? Office infrastructure. So if you want to go for the SAP implementation project, you need to have the office infrastructure to be available so that you will be able to kickstart the project and do the activities what you are performing during the process of the project. Like office of infrastructure means you need to have the desktops and the laptops and the internet connectivity, also so many computer peripherals. So all these are part of your office infrastructure. So these things are provided by the basis consultants. And the system readiness means if you wanted to perform any activity in SAP system, you need to have the system available readily. The software should be available ready, right? Then only you will be able to perform the activities. So these are the some of the activities which will be normally done by the basis consultants. Why I am explaining you is I have seen when I am trying to give the trainings, people are asking what is the role of I am trying to learn SAP materials management, but what is my role? So they are having so much of confusion regarding their roles. So that is the reason I am trying to explain the roles and responsibilities of individual consultants that are working in the implementation or the SAP projects. Then what is the category number 3 of the people working in the projects? So category 3 is the security people, security consultants. So what security consultants roles and responsibilities are? The security consultants roles and responsibilities are, these people will be providing or controlling the access of a SAP system with the help of the roles and authorization matrix creation. Means I am the person working in the procurement department. I should have only access to the procurement related transactions. I shouldn't be having the access to the finance related transactions, right? So how this will be controlled? This will be controlled with the help of the roles and authorization matrix. Roles and authorization matrix. So how this roles and authorization matrix will be created, how these roles will be assigned to a particular user based upon his roles and authorities, what he is trying to do in his day-to-day activities, is a part of security consultants. Then what is the category number 3 people working in the SAP projects? Category number 4. Category number 4 are the functional consultants. So we are trying to learn SAP materials management as a part of our course. Then what is the category we falling under? Can anyone guess? Are we falling under technical or basis or security or functional?
It is a functional.
Functional?
Yes, exactly. So we are falling under the category of the functional consultants. Okay, so then what are the roles and responsibilities of a functional consultant? So the roles and responsibility of a functional consultants are: functional consultant plays a major role in SAP projects. We are directly under the client facing role. Client facing role. Who is client? Who is client? Let us say there is one company, there is one manufacturing organization. Any manufacturing organization you take. These people, let us say, they thought they want to implement SAP software in their company as a supporting software for their day-to-day activities. Then what they will do? They will approach one of the IT company. I think someone needs to go on mute. There is a lot of background noise. Okay. So IT company is there. There is one manufacturing organization. They thought they want to implement or go for SAP as a software for day-to-day activities support. So then what they will do? They don't have the knowledge, right? They don't have how a SAP can be implemented or how a SAP can be supported in their organization. Then they have a dependency upon one of the IT company that supports their SAP implementation in their manufacturing organization. So they will approach one of the IT company, like any IT company they will approach, and they will have a discussions with the IT team management, and they will came to some conclusion or the contract with the IT company regarding the SAP implementation project. So then what IT company will do? IT company will deploy some of the functional consultants to the manufacturing company premises. So as a functional consultant, what I have to do? I need to go to the manufacturing company premises, and what is the first and foremost activity I will be performing as a functional consultant? I will be studying their existing business processes, how they are working today. If I want to implement SAP in a company, I need to understand their existing business processes and way of working, right? So how I will identify, understand? I will go to the company and I will meet the various people who are located in the material management department or the procurement department and stores and inventory management department. I will conduct some workshops. Within the workshops, I will try to understand what exactly the present way of working of that particular client. So the present way of understanding the business processes is known as is business process study. So as a SAP consultant, I am trying to understand their existing business processes in the phase of the project known as is business process study. Once I understood the as is business processes, how they are working, I will try to map and compare these processes against the SAP standard solutions. SAP standard solutions. Let us say for the processes what they are doing today in manufacturing organization, if the solution is already available in SAP as a standard, then for me it's very easy to develop that particular solution or they implement the solution. But let us say there is no standard solution for the scenarios which I have gone through as is business process case. Then what I have to do, I need to identify the gaps between the SAP standard solution and the requirement of the client. Then I need to develop those solutions with the help of the technical people. I need to write the coding. I need to do the various types of testings, etc. for the coding which was developed by the technical people. So this particular phase where I am trying to analyze or compare the existing solutions of a company with the SAP standard solutions is known as a 2B business process mapping. 2B business process mapping. Okay, so as a part of 2B business processes mapping, I will be identifying the gaps and I will try to see how these gaps can be filled or addressed as a part of the client requirement. So if there is any new development is required to address these particular gaps, I will take the technical people helps and I will try to develop the new programs so that I will be able to suffice the requirement of the client. Once the programs are developed by the technical people, then I need to perform various types of testings like unit testing. There is one type of testing known as a unit testing, and we have ITC. ITC is nothing but a integration testing. Integration testing 1, integration testing 2, also like user acceptance testing UAT, also the regression testing, like that. The way there are various types of testings, I will be performing all these testings. Once the testings are completed, then I need to do the various types of support to the users, right? Let us say I will deploy the solution and that particular solution related knowledge transfer I am going to give it to the manufacturing company. Employees are the persons who are trying to work upon SAP system. So I need to give the knowledge transfer for the solutions developed by me. Knowledge transfer to business users and supporting the users when they are doing the activities in the system, right? So these are the some of the activities which a functional consultant is going to do. Okay, functional consultant's role is very much critical in SAP projects. We are directly at the client facing role, means you are facing the client, so he will ask so many questions, so you should be able to explain all those questions to the client whenever they ask some clarification. Okay, so I try to explain some of the activities which I am trying to perform as a functional consultant, but if you go to the real-time project, there are so many other activities you need to perform as a part of your functional consultant related activities. As a functional consultant, one of the advantages, I need not to write the programming, right? Let us say there will be so many people who doesn't have who don't wanted to do the programming. They don't have an interest to do the programming, right? In such cases, what I have to do, I will choose, let us say you are working in one of the manufacturing organization. You want to shift your career from manufacturing sector to the IT sector. Then functional consultant role is one of the best role. Okay, try to learn any one of the SAP functional modules, then you will be able to switch your career from a manufacturing organization to the IT industry by learning the functional modules like SAP MM or WM, anything other than MM, WM, etc. So as a functional consultant, no need to write the coding, no need to write programs. Instead, whenever there is a program required, you need to take help from technical people or ABAP people. You need to explain, I want this thing. So that they will be able to develop the code and give it to you. You need to test it and ensure that the solution is working properly and deploy that particular solution into the production environment. So this is one of the advantage of technical functional people. You need not to write the programming. Instead, you can take the help from the technical or the ABAPers. Then what is the other advantage of the SAP system? Other advantage is SAP started during the 1972, right? So it has various version upgrades. So SAP started during 1972 and today it is 2022, right? So it is almost 40 years in the market. Why they are 40 years? Why they were able to sustain in the market for 40 years? Because they are reinventing themselves on quite timely manner. If you don't reinvent yourself, then you will be out of the market. There are so many softwares that came into the market, but they are out of the market. Why? They were not able to upgrade the solutions based upon the customer requirements. If you are not able to upgrade the solutions, then you will be out of the market. But in case of the SAP, so they are reinventing their solutions and upgrading those solutions on quite timely manner. So that is the reason they were able to sustain in the market from the last 40 years. Okay, so what is the version upgrade that SAP has gone through? So we will see briefly what and all the SAP version upgrade that has gone through. So one of the version upgrade that was released by SAP during 1972 was the SAP R3, SAP R1 version. SAP R1. When I say SAP R1, what is the full form of SAP R1? It is nothing but a real-time one-tier architecture. In data processing. Okay, so during the 1972, SAP released one version SAP R1, but SAP was able to provide the solutions only for the finance related activities or the finance department related activities only. They were not able to provide the solutions for the other departments like procurement department, sales and distribution department, or production planning department, or the warehouse management department. They were not able to provide the solutions. They were able to provide the solutions only for the finance department during 1972. Since SAP was able to provide the solutions only for finance, it was not became that much popular. Why? Because in an organization, not only the finance department, it will have so many other departments as well. So if you want to have the software to be procured, you need to have the solutions available for all the department requirements. That is the reason SAP didn't become much popular. It was being used by only some 40 customers during the 1972. Also the database to store the data in the SAP format of the tables they were using during 1972 was the Oracle database and the DB2 database. And the DB2 database. Okay. So it was used only, it was using Oracle and the DB2 database. So also they have only 40 customers available during the 1972. Then SAP thought we should provide the solutions for some of the logistics modules as well, along with the finance related modules. So they have released one more version during 1972 known as SAP R2 version. It is nothing but a real-time two-tier architecture in data processing. SAP R2 version they have released during 1972 known as real-time two-tier architecture in data processing. So what is the change they have brought? They have brought the change as a along with the finance department related solutions, they are also provide the solutions for the logistics module. Okay, so when I say logistics module, what and all the solutions that are coming into picture? The solutions that are coming into picture are the procurement department related solutions. Means for the procurement department related solutions, they have released SAP MM module, and for the production planning, they have released one module known as production planning. So they have released one module known as SAP PP, and for sales and distribution also one of the logistics module. So they have released sales and distribution SAP HD. So during 1979, along with the finance department related solutions, they also provided the solutions for the logistics modules like SAP MM, PP and SD, etc. With this, SAP became little bit popular and their customer base got increased from 40 customers to some 400 customers. 400 customers. The database they are using during the 1979 is the Oracle database and the DB2 database. So they have hired the database from the Oracle Corporation and they were using the database as a Oracle database. So it took almost, with the introduction of the real-time two-tier architecture, SAP was not able to provide the solutions for the big organizations. So till R2 version they were using, the SAP was being used by some small scale organizations only. If a big organization want to go for the SAP system, they were not able to. Why? Because the R2 architecture is not supporting the big industry specific requirements. Then what SAP thought? SAP thought they want to upgrade the R2 version to the R3 version. It took almost 12 to 13 years to SAP to develop R3 version from R2. That is 1992. During 1992, they have released one version known as SAP R3. When I say SAP R3, it is nothing but a real-time three-tier architecture. We already discussed what and all the layers that are available in the three-tier architecture. We have the presentation layer, application layer, and the database layer. Okay, so with the introduction of the real-time three-tier architecture, SAP became flexible enough or compatible enough to provide the solutions for the big industry needs. Very big industries also will be able to use the SAP system with the introduction of the R3 architecture. So with the introduction of the R3 architecture, they are still using the Oracle database only, but with the introduction of the R3 architecture, the customer base got quite drastically increased during the 1992-95. So they were able to have the almost 12,000 customers within a limited span of time. So they are also providing the solutions for the logistics as well as the finance, but their customer base got increased from 400 customers to 12,000 customers within a limited span of time. Also, they are using the database as a Oracle and the DB2 database during the 1992 version. Okay, so we can stop the session till here today. Tomorrow we can continue. Any doubts do you have over here for the session which we had today? Hello?
No.
No, I'm clear. Thank you.
Okay, so anyone has the experience in SAP? The team now available in this class. Do you have any experience prior to this?
No, sir, no.
No. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can stop me at any moment of time so that I will be able to clear your doubts. Okay, so then thanks for joining the call. We can meet tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.